So, hi guys, here we are, MMA UK News. Stoomboy, as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So, talking about SGI10. SGI10 is going to be Saturday, the 7th of May. Going to be at the usual place, Maryhill Community Halls. Anybody that's never been at the Maryhill Community Halls or never experienced the atmosphere, it's an absolutely brilliant venue. It's got the tiered seats around the mat. Everybody's on top of the action. It's noisy, as always, like most combat sports events are. So there's obviously John the DJ. Anybody that's never experienced John the DJ, John is a local trance music crazy DJ. So we'll have some music from John. The good thing as well is on this one there is going to be pay-per-view, which we've been building up. So the last 9 events have now got to this point where obviously pay-per-view is now going to be available for SGI10. So obviously details for that are all on Scottish Grappling. So if you cannot make the event, then make sure you do get the pay-per-view. This is an unbelievable card from start to finish. As I say, there's a lot of unbelievable matchups we're going to see on the night. So tickets as well. Tickets are available. So make sure you head over to Scottish Grappling. Go to their booking system and you'll be able to purchase your tickets directly from them. So now my next guest is going to be on the show that night. So Ollie Dillon, Carlson Gracie in Norfolk. So Ollie's up against Beinn Campbell. So 2 unbelievable grapplers. Ollie obviously comes with a huge amount of experience, obviously not just in jiu-jitsu but obviously different martial arts as well. So and Beinn's exactly the same, obviously a huge amount of experience as well. Beinn's a bit shyer. Obviously Ollie didn't have an issue coming on and chatting, but Beinn's very shy, but we all know that. So well, listen, Ollie, absolute pleasure, buddy. How you doing on Easter Monday?
Yeah, doing great. Like I said earlier, eating a lot, sleeping a lot, good stuff, resting up. Yeah, feeling really good.
Nice. And how's everything going training wise then? I know that we spoke before we came on air. Obviously, lockdown hit everybody quite badly. So, but now that we've now been in full flow for obviously a number of months now. So, how's everything going with yourself, Ollie?
Yeah, I mean, obviously lockdown was a bit of an issue for everyone. Luckily, that was kind of a little while ago now. Recently, I've been feeling my training's been going really well. Since kind of the New Year and Christmas, I've been able to get a lot more time in on the mat. I've been able to train with some of my excellent training partners down at Carlson Gracie Norfolk. My coach, Lee Dosky, has put a lot of time personally into kind of helping me prepare for this match as well. Talked a lot about game planning, a lot about just positional sparring and kind of working on some of the areas where I'm a bit weaker. And yeah, I've just been getting on the kind of my New Year's resolution was get on the mat as much as possible, just train as much as possible. Don't kind of worry about whether I'm improving here or this or that or anything. Just get on the mat, train a lot, and that's in my opinion where you kind of start making those big improvements. So that's what I've been doing.
Definitely. How typically on a week then? So obviously thinking about your training week, I mean, how often do you like to train, or how often do you try and train as much as possible?
So I'll do normally two kind of big sessions down at Carlson Gracie, and they're sort of my main kind of sparring sessions where I will, work. They've got a lot of tough people there, so they're sort of the main kind of sessions I'll put all my kind of effort into. I also coach, so I coach kind of grappling for the MMA club at the university where I work. Where I'm a student, and they kind of tend to be slightly more relaxed sessions, so I'll kind of work a bit more on sort of flow grappling and that kind of stuff, and then I try to get in a couple of strength and conditioning sessions a week as well, and kind of depending on sort of where I am, where I'm feeling kind of strong, I might either do running or I'll do kind of conventional strength and conditioning in the gym. So yeah, that's kind of my standard week.
So busy week, very busy week.
Yeah, quite busy. Definitely. I always think I'm always doing something. It's just crazy, but I like it. I like being busy.
Yeah. Then we've got a couple of comments coming in. Obviously, Chris Hayes of Catch 22 submission fighting up here in Brecon, just saying Ollie the Beast Dillon. So definitely, anybody that's ever seen Ollie, or unbelievable grappler. Not just grappling, but obviously we talked about different martial arts as well. So And then I put a comment up yesterday. Obviously, someone did ask this question. Chris has asked the same thing. Who's better, you or your brother?
Yeah, I mean, so me and my brother have trained together for years. So my dad used to coach martial arts. He did Aikido when we were kids. So we've literally been training together our entire lives. Yeah, I mean, he took it way more seriously than I did. I had a couple of years out between 2017 and sort of mid 2019, where I didn't really train very much. My brother kind of took off in those years, got his black belt, started competing on a lot of big shows. He's been on Polaris a bunch of times as well. I think I'm great, but I have no problem saying my brother is better than me. He's put in, yeah. Honestly, like I try and be as much like him as I can. He does really well.
Yeah. Listen, if it's between me and my brother, like I always say, like, of course I'm better than him. My brother, whatever he does, he's better than me. So, but it's good. I mean, obviously, to hear that and say, well, look, do you know what? My brother's definitely got the advantage. So, but I'd say it's not a competition between you and your brother. So we know that.
I mean, we are pretty competitive, but sometimes we just
definitely. And then, what about you then? So SGI10, as I said, SGI10. How did you find out then that you were obviously going to be matched on the card that night?
Yeah, so my brother, as you said, has fought on this show a couple of times before, and he's done really well on it. I've been training really hard the last few years, but I've gotten a couple of I was on the London Warriors Cup kind of Grand Belt Grand Prix last year, so I feel like I'm starting to get up onto those bigger shows now. But yeah, I wanted to kind of get on these sort of shows. My brother talked to me about it and said that he might be able to get me on it, and I of course jumped at the chance to. And yeah, he worked it out for me and managed to get me a good matchup, I think.
Yeah. And what about being on the card? Obviously, being on the card with your brother is obviously a kind of a special thing as well. Obviously, having the Dillon brothers both on the card that night, and again, you're not that far between each other in fights. I mean, I think there's only 3 or 4 fights in between. Obviously, your fight and then obviously Dom's fight.
Yeah, so no, that's great. I mean, I joked with my brother about this a little while ago actually, because the last time we were on the same card, I think would have been in like 2012, 2013, something like that. When
quite a while ago, yeah.
MMA, yeah. So it's the first time we've both been on the same card for a long time. It's really nice. I like it. Obviously, going there as well, he'll be able to kind of help me prepare corner, and I'll be able to do the same for him. Chris Hayes will also be there, so I do actually know him pretty well, and it's nice having a few more kind of familiar faces around. But no, it means the world. It'll be great, especially when we come away with the wins or whatever. It'll be a good special moment, definitely.
This one will be a bit different. Obviously, the last one was MMA, so obviously this one you won't be. Hopefully, you won't be coming away with any kind of bruised faces.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. That could happen, but
definitely. Then, obviously for you, then. So, I mean, you, as we know, you love being out competing. I know you mentioned obviously you took some time out, 2017, but obviously you were always out there. You always wanted to compete, and you talked about you wanted to get better and improving and so on. So, I mean, now that 2022 is here, we're fingers crossed we're going to have a full year of everything. So, what would you like to see yourself doing for the rest of 2022, Ollie?
So I want to do some of the big UK competitions, so nationals, British, that kind of stuff. I'd also like to do a few more international competitions. So I've done a couple before. I've done some in Milan before. I've done obviously the Euros, that kind of thing. I want to do the Euros next year, but sticking to this year, I also want to look at some of the international competitions, just sort of around Europe as well. Who knows?
Now, we always love seeing you out there. We always love seeing. I know you did take obviously some time out, and then obviously lockdown, unfortunately, kind of put a dampener on it as well. So, but I'd say we always love seeing you out there and doing your thing. As I said, Ollie Dillon's always a name that we always hear, which is always great. It's always great. So, and it's going to be a great matchup. I mean, you and Beinn.
I mean, I've looked him up. He looks like a really tough guy. I think it'll be a tough match. And like I said earlier, I think it's a good matchup. I think it'll be really entertaining.
Yeah, the good thing as well about SGI, I mean, it's because it's quite an evenly matched between you and Ben, as it quite similar styles in a
Yeah,
way, and that's the thing with SGI. It seems to be everybody has been matched up really well.
yeah,
So, and again, I say you and Ben, as I said, it's definitely a great matchup. It's definitely one that anybody that's watching, I'd say definitely make sure you're there for that, because I know that they've got, do you know what I mean, people will come in late. As you know, people come
yeah,
in late for, they'll only come in to see their specific fighters and stuff like
yeah,
that. So, but you're on the last part, the main part
yeah,
of the card. So
yeah. I think most
everybody should be
people,
in.
yeah. Hopefully, everyone will stay to the end and catch my fight, even if they come to someone else.
Yeah, yeah. But nah, it's going to be great. But looking forward to seeing you coming up. We always love seeing Dom coming up.
Yeah, no,
Um,
Dom's great.
Dom's a great character, so obviously going to be seeing you coming up. It's going to be absolutely. It's going to be even better. We're going to have
Yeah,
the two Dillon brothers
exactly.
here. And then final thing for you then. So obviously you've been in the game for a number of years, a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So obviously I'm pretty sure you'll have trained with thousands of people over the years. But anybody you want to shout out to, so any kind of friends, family members, teammates, or even any sponsors that you may have, Dylan.
Yeah,
Ollie.
no, I mean, obviously Carlson Gracie Norfolk, Lee Dostie, my coach, you know, like I said, he's helped me a lot. He helped me a lot for my previous kind of competitions as well. You know, always just a top guy, gives me a lot of time, spars with me a lot, which I always really appreciate. There's a lot of, like, as I said, tough people in the gym as well, predominantly. So Chase, Eduardo, David's, you know, there's so many people in that gym that are really tough, but you know, they're some of the toughest for sure. Gary as well, who's yeah, one of the black belts there, really great guy as well. Obviously, my brother, like I said, he's, you know, we've trained together our entire lives. You know, he's done a lot of the things I want to do, you know, being on these big shows, being on, you know, being out there competing at the highest level as a black belt, you know, that's something I want to do. So, you know, he's been a big inspiration to me as well. Obviously, my family as well, you know, especially when I was younger, like my parents used to take me to competitions and stuff when I was a kid and stuff like that. So, you know, that's always been a big thing. No sponsors at the moment, but, you know, if anyone wants to jump on that, feel free.
Listen, the sponsors will come. You know that the sponsors will come. So, so yeah, there we go, guys. We're going to have Ollie Dillon of Carlson Gracie Norfolk is going to be up against Beinn Campbell. So that is Saturday, the 2nd of May. Sorry, 7th of May, should I say? That's going to be at Maryhill Community Halls in Glasgow. Now, ticket availability, make sure you do head over to Scottish Grappling page and get your tickets through their booking system. Anybody that can't make the event, then there is pay-per-view going to be available. And again, the pay-per-view details are all on the Scottish Grappling page as well. So make sure you head over to that. One question just came in again from Chris Hayes. All right, so our favourite Sicario, as he's calling himself now. So just saying, who parties harder, Ollie or Dom?
It's probably me, to be fair. We like to party sometimes, but at the moment, being pretty responsible. So keeping my head down, doing the right
Yes.
thing.
Listen, I'm sure you'll have a small party after the 7th of May when that comes as well. So, so Ollie, listen, absolute pleasure, buddy. Thank you again for
having me on.
Yeah, listen, thanks again for obviously taking the time to speak to me. Absolutely buzzing. Obviously, when I spoke to Dom previously, Dom had told me a lot of stuff about you. So he was telling me all the good stuff, no bad stuff. He didn't have any bad things to say about you.
He definitely could. I'm sure he could tell you.
And obviously, I know you through the scene as well. So it's going to be great to definitely see you coming up and coming on to the SGI match on the 7th of May. So, but listen, enjoy the rest of your training, Ollie. All right. And yeah, I'll see you next month, buddy.
See you then. Cheers.
All right. Take it easy, buddy. Thank you.